Hello, hello. May peace and blessings be with you, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. If this is your first time joining one of my trainings, I am Timmy Mirza. I am the CEO and founder of Simplify One Thing. What brings me a lot of joy in life is learning new things. And whenever I learn new things, then I really feel compelled to share that with others. So I do these trainings inside my Facebook community, which is Wealthy Startups. Please feel free to join my community so that you can interact with me live as well. So, today we're going to tackle the topic of Trello for coaching clients and coaching sessions, how to track your notes and progress and checklists and all that jazz, right? I feel like as coaches, there is so much that goes on behind the scenes. And if we don't have a system, if we don't have a plan, things can look haphazard and we can look unprofessional in front of our clients. So I am going to share a system with you that I am experimenting with and I am loving it so far. So I figured, why not share that with you as well and see if you can take it for a spin and see how it works for you. So if you already use Trello, let me know how you like it. Let me know if you enjoy working with it. If you're not yet using Trello, then you definitely want to check it out. The reason why I say that is because as multi-passionate human beings, we have a gazillion ideas going on and so many different tasks and in so many different directions that if we don't have a way of logging that somewhere or keeping track of it somewhere, it could get very confusing. I have boatload of sticky notes and all of that all over my desk a lot of times, and I'm trying to get rid of all of that and bring some consistency and ease to my life, to everything that I have going on. I absolutely love using Trello for team collaborations as well, and I've been using that for a long time, and I find that it keeps things very clean and efficient, where we don't really miss conversations related to a task because everything all the conversations happen in the same task. So we're not losing context and we have all the links and everything that we need related to that task in one spot. So as I was using that and having a lot of success with it, I started to think that why am I not using that for my coaching clients? If you have one-on-one clients, the system will work beautifully. But even if you have group coaching programs and you want to keep track of different things for each client, because even though they're part of a group, you still want to have a really good level of understanding and depth about where they are in the process on their journey, right? As you're trying to deliver results to them, it really, really is helpful for the clients to know that my coach is on top of things, right? So I really want you to be that coach who's on top of things and not be like, haphazard. Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. So my intention here is that I run my Dream Believe Launch Mastermind, which is my main beautiful program. I absolutely love this program. So in 12 weeks, we go from clarifying the idea to launching your first program, building your coaching program, launching it, and then delivering results to your clients, reflecting on that experience, and then crafting your next offer. So this is basically a roadmap that we follow for 12 weeks. And what I decided to do was, how about we take the format of this and basically create a little plan for ourselves every week and go with that, run with that. So this is what I have based on that. If I go to the top, so basically I created this list, which is anytime I have a new client, I can actually grab copies of these tasks and move them over. So let's say I have a new client. Cindy, you're going to be my new client. I'm going to say, okay, so this is going to be Cindy Minto. Okay, so right here for week 1, once you join my mastermind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this card over into under your column, your lane, because that is where I'm going to keep track of what's going on with you. And you'll see in a minute, like there are all these other things that I have listed out in there already. Okay, so I'm going to click on copy card and it's telling me there are 2 checklists in here. This is what it's going to call. Is that okay? Which list do you want to add to? I'm going to say add it to Cindy Minto, right? So I'm going to click on create card. So what this did is it basically made a copy of this template of this card and moved it over into your lane. And now when I look at this, you're going to see after the call or during the call, I can jot down any ahas that we had any items that I need to take care of, right? Because I also have to keep track of that, because sometimes like we get off the call and I'm like, chicken scratching literally, like, what were the things that we talked about that I need to work on and stuff like that. So this gives me a place. And then I also have a place for notes. In addition to that, I want to kind of follow a plan that I pretty much do for every call that we have. We start with sharing our wins. Then we cover the topic for the week. So week 1 is, let's say, idea clarity. That's where a little bit of the teaching happens and conversations happen. So I want to make sure that I'm not missing that. And then we, at the end, look at the goals for the week. And once the call is over, then I also upload the recordings to the client portal, right? So these are basically the tasks in this situation. You could have your own format that you follow for your coaching calls. You can certainly create that checklist for yourself. And one other thing I want to do is I want to keep track of your goals, right? So you're going to make some declarations during the call. You're going to say, I will accomplish XYZ this week. I want to make sure that I jot this down. So what happens is before the next call, before next week, before I jump on, I can just quickly open up this card and get a very quick glimpse into everything that's happening with you, all right here, right? And that's it. And we're done. And week 2, same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. And with my DBL masterminds, they're usually small group sessions. So we don't have like a ton of people in there, right? Like we typically would have like 5 or fewer people. So it's very easy for me to just copy the card 5 times for 5 people and then just start to keep track of that. It'll take a little bit of effort at the beginning, but it's going to streamline things so super much that you don't have to constantly look back at your notebook. And later on, right? So the benefit that happens is also later on, you can look at the progress that your clients are making and reaffirm them about all the progress that they're making. Because sometimes what happens is in week 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, right? People start to, if they lose momentum and they really need that reassurance, you can look at these cards and you can pull up even the wins and things like that, and you can reflect those back to them. As a coach, this is so helpful because you really, really want them to have a transformation. And this is one way you can make it easy. Okay, so if you go to this link, simplifyonething.com/Trello content plan, you can grab a copy of my content planner Trello board. Okay, so I hope that this makes things easier and simplified and all of that. And then for every week, you can also have, if there are links that you want to share, resources you want to share for each week and stuff like that, you can also include those as part of your card right here. That way it's all right there and you can just open it up. And before the session, you can also refresh your own memory and your mind. There are so many applications of Trello. And I really, really I love that you're being so creative with it. I really want everybody to learn the basics, but then also figure out where else can I use this, right? I'm literally looking at this to simplify my entire life, right? I also have, in addition to all these like work related things that I do, I also now have a personal board where I'm keeping track of my achievements. I'm keeping track of testimonials. I'm keeping track of books I'm reading or I want to read and stuff like that, right? So all of those things you can utilize Trello for. And what I also love about Trello is that you can access it from a desktop as well as your mobile phone. So, you always will be able to access your lists and things like that, even when you're on the go. While we're looking at the card, so you saw that I have a couple of checklists in here. What if you wanted to create a checklist of your own? Could you do that? Absolutely. Let's just say we're going to create a new card. We'll just make it a temp list of some sort. Whoops. Hit enter. I'm going to add a card. I'm going to say this is my test card for something, or action item 1, whatever that is. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and right here, you're going to click on checklist. You can add a description to it. I showed you in the previous training how you could add members to your task. When you add a member, you're basically assigning the task to them. Or even if you want them to just have eyes on this task, you can also add members for that as well. You can also add due dates and checklists and things like that. You can also add labels to keep track of different things. I'll get into labels in just a minute, but let's just focus on checklists first. If I click on checklist right here, I can give this checklist a name. I'm going to say Sunday evening, let's say Sunday evening checklist. And I'm going to hit add. And right here, I'm going to say, okay, plan. So one of the things we're doing, it's not Sunday evening, we do on Sunday. I'll just change it. I'll say Sunday checklist because I can actually use this for something. So let's do that. Okay, so add an item. I'm going to say plan. We're going to say coordinate schedules, family schedules. So my husband and I, we sit down on Sunday afternoon. We look at what does everybody have going on, right? Where kids going to be, what sports, what games, what practices, what all the things that they have going on, what are all the different activities I have going on, what family things we have going on, what volunteer stuff that we have going on. So all of that, we literally just sit down and we basically quickly just go over that. It takes us no more than 10 minutes, seriously. And that also is an opportunity for us to say, okay, what are the priorities for us for this week, right? For the family, what fun things we want to do. And we make sure that we are not letting those slide anymore. So coordinating our family schedules is one thing that we do. Then we also say plan our meals. So I once upon a time came up with this like beautiful meal plan, and I'm constantly refining it and all of that over time as we are learning to eat better and all of that. So we do, let's say, 3 or 4 different types of meats. I basically say Monday is, what's today? Monday is our beef day. Tuesday is our chicken day. Wednesday is our fish day. Thursday is our beef day. Friday is our chicken day again. So on and so forth, right? So I basically came up with this schedule where I came up with these recipes or these dishes that I want to make. And by the time we get through the schedule, we pretty much eat the same thing once or twice in the whole month, which is amazing. So we just look at that week. We say, okay, we're in week 3 of this month. What do we have going on? And based on that, we just plan our meals. Helps us so super much before we go for grocery shopping. And that gets done. Then the next one is in the evenings. I was just sharing at the beginning of this call that I have started to plan my outfits, right? Plan outfits for the week. And that is saving me so much mental capacity in the morning. I love it. So that's it, right? So let's say that's my Sunday checklist. And that's it. I'm just going to leave that here. And once I take action on it, let's say I can just mark it as done. I can also just copy this card to next week. Like this could just become my, what was yesterday? Sunday was 17th, right? So this could be my to-do items or something. I don't even have to say that, just that day, right? That's enough. Okay, so that day I just had these 3 things. Once they're done, I can just mark them complete, and I can also archive this card. If you want to archive the card, you don't ever want to look at it again. You just want to be like, all right, it was on the plan, it got done, life is good. You can just click on the 3 dots over here and you can archive the card. When you're archiving it, it archives, but sometimes you have created a card accidentally and you want to delete it. You can also delete the card if you want to. In this case, I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to archive it. What archiving does is it's gone. It doesn't show up on the list anymore. It's still there, but it doesn't show up on the list. So there are lanes at the top just so that you can visually see what's what. It's almost like a grouping of things. And then every single thing is a card. Those could be tasks. Those could be ideas. Those could be anything, right? So that's how that works. Okay, so going back to this for a second, since you asked the question, I just want to show you this also. So week 1 through 12 is all of these cards with a different plan for the week, right? And then I also have a card for the Zoom link. In here, I will just have the Zoom link. That way, the Zoom link for this call is always handy. And I don't have to, dig for it or anything like that. I could just come to this Trello board and it's right there. And links to share. So I have worksheets for every session or some additional links, right, that I utilize for different activities that we do. Then I can throw those links in here also. And all I need to do is just copy those links and drop them in the Zoom meeting when we're together. So that's how we are using this. Okay, so we talked about that. Now let's create one more. We're going to say morning routine. And after I write something, if I don't like it, I can also say something different. I can say Monday morning. And what was today's date? Okay. So right here, I can, jot down whatever I want in here, any description for this or whatever. Let's say I have some things. Let's say there are 3 things I need to do. There's a bill I need to pay, something else. And I want to add a little due date for that. I can actually just click on this little date button right here. And I can say, okay, I must get this thing done by 8:19 by whatever, 11 a.m., right? And then you can also say, do you want to be reminded, right? Do you want to be reminded 10 minutes before and all that? You may have a different thing that you use, maybe your calendar or your reminders on your phone for that. That is totally fine. But where I utilize this quite a bit is when we have tasks for the team, when we're doing collaborations and things like that. I do, if something is time sensitive, I'm actually not really like big on, putting deadlines and things like that. But if something truly is time sensitive, then I do add this little due date in here. And I also noticed over the weekend that my graphic designer, who does a lot of my social media stuff, she actually put a deadline for me. She's like, get this to me by 11 a.m. your time, because if I want her to work on that, I need to provide that by 11 a.m. And that day I actually put something in there 11:30, and I was like, okay, I know that I missed the window here. No worries, I'll take care of it myself. And the next time I know that I need to provide this to her by 11 o'clock. So just want to share this, that this is also available over here, because what happens with that is, let me just pick this thing for a second. And I want to say, let's remind me 15 minutes before, and I'm going to hit save, right? So if it's due within a day, I think within the next 24 hours or something, it's going to show due soon. And if it's past this time, it's not marked as complete, you haven't checked it complete, it will actually show you that it's overdue. So it's actually very smart, and it will do that for you automatically. And I love using it, the due dates and things like that, for time sensitive things. Okay, the other thing is labels. You can actually get very creative with labels also, because one of the things that I know that, especially with one-on-one clients, sometimes you want to make sure that you're also keeping track of, if somebody is paid, or somebody is on installment payments, or if somebody is late on their payment or something like that. Because in the coaching world, I really want you to make sure you're also making money as you're pouring into other people. So one thing you can do is just create a simple label that basically says paid in full, or installment payment, and or overdue, or something like that, right? That way you can just literally easily tag the person, and every time you look at it, you are reminded of that you need to follow up on it. So that's one way you can kind of keep track of it. I don't know if I would recommend using Trello for expense tracking or something. I feel like there are better apps for that. So I wouldn't recommend using Trello for expense tracking, because I don't know if it does a good job with any calculations or anything like that. So because of that, I wouldn't use Trello for that. But certainly to keep track of, where they are in the payment process. Or one other thing that's coming to mind that's super helpful is how well your client is progressing during your coaching, right? Is somebody falling behind? Is someone ahead of schedule, right? Stuff like that. I think you can create different tags for that. And I did cover tags in the previous training, but if needed, maybe I can just cover them again real quick. So under labels, you'll just click on that, and you can create a label. Like for this one, we created done and in progress. And let's say you want to create other tags. Let's say a purple one could be, I'm going to click on the little pencil next to it, and I'm going to call this one, I'm going to say paid in full, save. And then maybe orange one can be, or this red one can be, click on the little pencil. I'm going to say overdue payment overdue. How do we say that? Payment overdue, maybe? Something like that, right? Paid in full, payment overdue. We can also do installment pay, and you can say good so far, or something like that, or just installment pay is fine. Don't need to get super geeky here. Okay, so as I was clicking on the little checkbox next to each label, it actually started to add these labels. So you don't want to have all three here, right? So you can just click on this, and you can say, okay, don't do installment pay, don't do payment overdue, just paid in full, right? Just tag them with that, and that's it. So by clicking the label, you can add it. By clicking it again, you can remove the label. So that's how that works. Check and uncheck, essentially. Okay, so the beautiful thing here is once you get going, if somebody else is helping you, collaborating with you, every time they are adding notes and things like that, they're getting shown here. You can add images, you can add, so that's a cover image, but you can also just add an image right here. You can add attachments. You can also insert, what I like is like these emojis. You can also include emojis, you can include links, anything you want. It's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. Like ever since we've been using Trello consistently, life is getting better and better. If you would like a copy of my Trello content plan, which I covered last week, you just go to this link and you can grab a copy there. My team is awesome. I'm going to go here, Trello content plan. So you just go here. What I am providing as part of this is my Trello template for your social media content, my Canva templates for these like header images that you can create for making your Trello board look very like branded and beautiful. It makes your heart happy when you look at it. I'm a very simple person. So when I'm creating boards, this is how I create them. I have to show you when my team creates board, how fancy they look. Give me 1 second. They're fancy looking. And I'm giving you my templates for the fancy looking ones. Okay, so when team creates it, this is how fancy it looks. See like how beautiful the column headers are and all of that. And there's a pretty background and everything. They're beautiful, right? When team creates them, that's how beautiful they look. When I create them, this is how they look. They look simple. So I'm giving you the templates for making them look fancy. As part of this, I'm also including our 12-step checklist that we use when we're creating reels every week, because we have become very consistent with that and I love it. And so I'm including that in there as well. So just watch the training from last week. If you don't have a Trello account, that's going to show you how to create your own account. Last week, I went into the content planner. And this week, I'm covering your coaching clients and keeping track of your tasks for each of the clients. Let me know if you have any questions. I've shared the link here. You can grab that. If anybody's interested in joining my mastermind, it's dreambelievelaunch.com. What I do is in 12 weeks, we really help you get clear on your idea. If you're building a coaching program, this is a fantastic program. You don't just learn what needs to be done. You actually sit down and you actually get it done, because we meet twice a week, every week. If you're in this program, you're going to hear from me very, very quickly. So that's this program. If you would like a link of this, it is simply dreambelievelaunch.com. And this is a program that makes my heart happy, absolutely happy. So we have started this new program, which is called Get It Done Wednesdays, which is simplifyonething.com/getitdonewednesdays. So that is this program. And what we have created here is it's a co-working session and tech support all in one in 50-minute sprints, because I am an action taker, y'all. And I really, really want you to take action also, because I know that we have so much information coming at us. We consume it all, absorb it all. But then if we're not taking action, it's not really helping us, right? It's not really moving us forward or anything like that. So as part of this, you have a 50-minute session. We're going to open doors at 8:50 a.m. on Wednesday mornings, Eastern time. At 9 o'clock, you will be in your own breakout room. We only have 50 slots for each session. And the magical, beautiful thing about this is that you get to choose which room you want to be in based on the goal you declare. So what my recommendation for this thing is that you come in and you say, today, I want to get the first page of my funnel done, or I want to get the order form and the payment and all of that connected, or I want to build this automation so that this thing I no longer have to do manually and it gets automated for me, or I'm going to create my own community today, or I'm going to launch a membership today. And here are the things I want to get done for that. Whatever your heart desires, right? I'm not dictating that. You're basically declaring, this is my goal. This is what I want to accomplish. And then you'll go to that room and I will have an expert in that field, in that area, in that room helping you out. So the idea is that you're independently going to work on it on your own in that room, but you have support available. If you have questions, you just raise your Zoom hand. And then when it's your turn, you can ask the question and then somebody will help you out. So we have 5 different areas within this. And please note that we are using One Tech, which is powered by Go High Level for all of these things, for funnel building, website building, automations, courses, communities, social media, content scheduling, email marketing, all of that. For graphic design, we're using Canva. For video editing, we're using CapCut. So if you're interested in any of these and need help and need support and really want to get something done, please come to one of these. You can just go to this link and sign up for any session that you would like. And I also have included a quiet room, because that is something what I need sometimes. Just go to a quiet space where I can just work on it independently, but somebody's holding me accountable with that goal to say, I want to get that thing done, right? And we're pricing it just at $27 per session. And I feel that in this 150-minute session, you are going to benefit way, way, way more than that, right? Like you multiply this thing by at least 10. That's how much benefit you're going to get from every session. So I really hope that this is something that will be helpful for you and you will join us for this. I am going to hop off, friends. I love you all. I will be back next week, same time, same place, with a new tech topic. We are continuing our conversation with Trello. I planned 19 months of video content for these trainings in one sitting. It's fabulous. I should actually just do a training on that, how I did that. That was like a lot of fun. Okay, so, apparently I'm going to cover organize your next course launch with Trello. So I guess I'm going to show you some things that we do when we're launching a new course or a new program or something like that. So that's what we'll cover next week. Ta-da! That makes me so happy. Okay, friends, I love you and I will be back next week. I hope that you have a super awesome, super amazing, super productive week ahead. May peace and blessings be with you. Bye.